tough life and death decisions, and it's one thing if you're an adult to have to make those, but what if you're a teenager and you're forced to make a life and death decision that you know you have no choice, you have to make it? Please welcome 15-year-old Leah to the show. Leah, talk to me. I think, okay, this all came about because when you were born, I think the doctors identified this when you were born, did they not?
No. They said that I'd had a hole in my heart.
Mm-hmm.
And since I was born, I kept going back and they kept checking it, And I've had seizures when I was a little girl.
Mm-hmm.
So they thought, well, we'll keep watching it.
And their reason for just watching is because sometimes babies are born with small holes in their hearts, and it basically heals itself.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Or in some cases, they have to go and do minor surgery. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say minor surgery. Any surgery on the heart is major surgery. They can go in and do a procedure that can correct that. In your case, they were waiting to see if it would close on its own, right?
And they said it's starting to close. We'll just keep on watching her, but it's going to close on its own. And one time when I went back, they said it's getting bigger, and we're going to have to go in and close it because blood's going through the hole, and it's causing your right side of your heart to enlarge.
Mm-hmm.
And I had started having, my seizures had stopped, and I had started having seizures some more, and so that they thought that is why. And when they went in, they're like, they said, well, we're going to close the hole, everything's going to be okay. And when they went in, there was no hole.
I should get your parents out here. Please welcome Leah's parents, Julie and Bobby, to the show. Welcome to both. Good to see you. How are you, sir? Good. Let me see. Talk to me about this. She's sitting there explaining this, but really throughout, this kind of went kind of quick, this explanation.
Yes.
She was born, and initially the doctor said she had a hole in her heart. This will heal itself.
Right.
Let's just keep an eye on it.
That's right.
So now you're watching this from birth, and she's 7, 8 years old trying to play and was having difficulty playing, correct?
Yes, she was.
So you kept taking her back to the doctors?
Yeah, telling them, she gets tired real easy.
Mm-hmm.
She's wanting to be involved in sports. The PE teachers were noticing that she was having trouble, keeping up. And
so when did they finally identify or say to you, you know what, this hole looks like it's getting larger, and we're going to have to make a decision? How old were you then?
13.
13. And they did kind of tell you, if this is not corrected, this could take 25 years off your life, period. Yeah. So your life will be shortened. And if we also go in, you could have anything from a stroke to all these other things that could happen.
Mm-hmm.
Or we just leave it alone and you bite the bullet and say, this is the plight that I have.
Yes.
Whose decision was it to have this operation?
All of ours.
Did you guys let her make the final decision, or?
Well, ultimately, we let her make the decision.
Mm-hmm.
But we sat down, we talked it over. The risk of even having open heart surgery in itself, was a big decision.
Mm-hmm.
But then, do you want to have children, Leah? Do you want to have, the quality of life? Do you want to have a long life?
What a heavy one to put on a 14-year-old, though. I'm 14 years old. Do I want to have children? I don't even like kids. 14 years old. I don't like my friends. Right? But then it was good that your parents presented it to you that way. So when you went in, the day that you went in for surgery, did you guys think this was going to be like one of these procedures, like an easier procedure?
Yes, we did. Well, actually, I had heart catheterization before I had my open heart surgery. They went in to close the hole, and there was no hole. And so they started looking around to see why the right side of my heart was filling up with blood and why it was enlarging. And that's when they found out what I had.
And they realized that it wasn't a hole, it was a enlarged blood vessel?
My pulmonary vein was not going into the part of my heart that was supposed to. It was circling around, filtering the blood and putting it back to be refiltered, making the blood not go to my body, but to the right side of my heart.
So they had to go in and basically do major heart surgery on you to relocate that vein and all of that. Yes. How long were you in?
In surgery?
Surgery.
I think it was about 5 hours.
5 hours. The two of you must have been going crazy. Yes. But can we say now what has come out of this, because it was a good decision? What came out of this?
Oh, I look at life so much differently now.
Mm-hmm.
So much differently. It's like everything is a blessing. Because I think, I might couldn't have had this. I might not be able to meet this person. And it's totally different. Life is so different.
Prognosis now is she's going to be fine.
Perfectly normal.
Perfectly normal from this point forward.
Absolutely.
And you know, part of the reason why I really wanted the three of you here is because these are kind of decisions that are made sometimes without even including the child. It's one thing when a child's under the age of 8 or 9. When a child becomes a teenager, it's a tough one, but I applaud you as a family for sitting down and discussing this with your daughter and giving her the option. Good. I do. Good luck to you. We take a little break. When we come back, another life and death decision. We'll talk about it when we return. We'll be back right after this.